So George Fant very clearly wants to get paid. We're going to talk about it. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be talking about George Fant and him wanting to get hashtag paid by the New York Jets. Before we get started today, I just wanted to mention you can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. New episodes come out every single Monday. You can call in, leave me your questions, and I'll answer them on the show. Also, new episode of Exit 16 West drops every Thursday. That is the Patreon show. For bonus Jets content, check out the Patreon. A link to all that is down below. So Minkah Fitzpatrick is the latest player to get paid. And I know what you might be thinking is, who cares if Minkah Fitzpatrick got paid? Well, it relates to the Jets because after, I think it was NFL tweeted out, the details of the extension, George Fant replied on Twitter and said, "Must be nice." George Fant very clearly wants a new contract. If you haven't been following along this offseason, he is obviously a pending free agent after the year. He has 1 year remaining on a 3-year deal. He's already played his first 2 years. He'll be making $10.1 million this year, and he's coming off of a career year. So very obviously he wants a contract extension. And I think one ends up getting done. I do think the Jets extend him. They love George Fant. One, because he's available. He plays a lot. And number two, I mean, they signed him, and initially he played right tackle his first year. He played left tackle last year, and I think he's going to play left tackle this year. There's allegedly going to be a competition for it, but I think Fant is going to be the left tackle. I think Becton's going to be the right tackle. And with some of the question marks on this offensive line beyond this year, whether it be Mekhi Becton's health or what they're going to do at the center position with Connor McGovern, I think it would be wise to extend George Fant because, I mean, yes, he's 30 years old, but it's not like corner or safety or running back or wide receiver, even at times where these guys fall off a cliff at 30 years old. We've seen players, especially on the offensive line, play well into their 30s, and I don't think it's going to take, massive money or a massive kind of year, amount of years. Could it be a 2-year extension on top of this one? Yeah, I think that would probably be the best case scenario. Over the cap had his OTC valuation at $12.8 million. I think he'd probably get more than that. He was PFF's 39th ranked offensive tackle last year. He's solid. He's good. Is he a star? No, he's never going to be a top 10 tackle in the league. He's going to be steady, and steady starting tackles get, $15 million a year. Would he take 2 years, $15 million a year to be a starting tackle? I think that's fair money. He allowed just 1 sack and 18 pressures last year. He cut his pressure numbers nearly in half. And he's going to be playing most likely next to Laken Tomlinson, or maybe he's playing next to Elijah Vera Tucker, but those are two very good guards. So the play around him is going to be good. He's a better pass blocker than he is a run blocker. And while the Jets very clearly want to go with a run heavy scheme, I think it's important for them to have these offensive linemen who are high caliber pass blockers, which, looking at the full offensive line, Fant is probably their best pass blocker. I think Elijah Vera Tucker has a little bit of ways to go. Becton obviously has a little bit to go there. McGovern is, okay at it, but and Laken Tomlinson, who they just brought in, is a better run blocker. But while yes, they obviously are going to want to run their wide zone offensive scheme, which is, athletic offensive linemen, which George Fant fits that. I think it's also important for them to have someone who is steady in pass pro, which is exactly what we've seen out of George Fant. Even in his first year, he was significantly better than I thought he was going to be. He was pretty much a no-name in Seattle. He didn't get a ton of playing time there. He comes to the Jets. He was a late bloomer, again, but he's a really good athlete. An absolute worst-case scenario for him, he moves back over to the right side. Becton plays on the left, which I'm okay with. If Becton wins out the job, I don't think they're going to do that. I think both Saleh and the offensive staff really like Fant, and they're going to want him to play on the left side. But I think it would be smart for the New York Jets to get a deal done with him. I ultimately think one will get done with him before the start of the season, but we'll see. Obviously, he's made it pretty clear that he wants to get paid and wants to stay. So let's see if something gets done. Comment below if you, one, want the Jets to extend George Fant, and number two, what do you think an extension would look like? Let me know. Sound off in the comments. Subscribe here if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.